Hey, editing Lauren here. Showing up for you pretty real right now. I just took a shower. I'm in my sweats, but that's how it's going. Basically, I am sharing my last Jolly in July video. As you know, if you've been following along, it has been a wild month with tornado damage, and I never got to post up my Jolly in July sweatshirt tutorial, so I am posting that today. So this was filmed pre-tornado, but I am finally getting around to editing it, and I'm sharing it with you right now. Enjoy. Welcome! We are strolling through week 3 of our Jolly in July series. If you're new to the channel, my name is Lauren. I am the quilter and fiber artist behind Garden Girl Studio. And throughout the whole month of July, Stacy from Stacy Creates Stuff and I are teaming up to give you some holiday crafting tutorials so you can get ahead on your holiday projects. And today I have such a fun project for us. I am legitimately so excited for this one. We are going to be stitching up a sweatshirt for holiday pajamas or holiday jammies. So what we're going to do today is we're going to be using Cricut Infusible ink to essentially dye the word Christmas onto the sweatshirt. And then we are going to hand embroider some lettering so that the sweatshirt says my Christmas jammies or my Christmas pajamas. I'll give you the choice. I'm going to step you through the entire project and I just can't wait to get started. So let's go on. Let's dive in. We're going to head over to Cricut Design Space and I'm going to show you how to prepare for the infusible ink transition so that we can have Christmas lettered right onto our sweatshirt. So let's go on ahead and jump right in. Perfect. So to get started, you are going to go ahead and I'm going to provide you with a PNG file of the word Christmas that you can use inside of your Cricut Design Space. That's going to be located in the description below, so go on ahead and download that. Once you have that, meet me in Cricut Design Space. So I've opened up a new project in Cricut Design Space. It's called Christmas Sweatshirt. We need to upload our downloadables. So let's go ahead and we're going to upload an image. Browse for it wherever you have it saved on your computer. In my case, I have it saved under my Jolly in July folder. And I'm giving you 2 different options for your downloadable. You can have just regular Christmas and tall Christmas, just depending on how you need your Christmas spaced. I'm just going to choose the regular Christmas for now, and I'm going to show you how you can resize it in Design Space to meet the size that you want to use for your sweatshirt, t-shirt, whatever it is that you're making today. So I've hit upload. We're going to press continue. It's going to ask if you want to remove the background, but I've already done that for you, so you don't have to worry about it. Press apply and continue. We're going to convert our upload to a single layer. Press continue. And then press upload. Now we're in Cricut Design Space and it is huge. So I like to zoom out so I can see the whole Christmas. I'm going to use this little corner rectangle square and my arrows and just bring it down. We're going to bring it down close to 12 inches. And then I'd like to show you a really cool tool that I'm using for this project. I have a t-shirt and, or in our case, a sweatshirt ruler. And this gives me an indication of what size and where to place our lettering once we have it cut out. It also comes with a little guide that gives recommendations for how wide that your design should be. Now, I have an oversized sweatshirt because I love big, comfy, cozy sweatshirts. It's just my jam, it's my style. But this will tell you what width they recommend based on the size of your t-shirt, and in my case, sweatshirt. Now they're recommending something between 9 to say 10.5 inches for a general posting, but I want it to be really big. So I think we're gonna go with 11 inches wide. And I'm kind of eyeballing that. I like that idea of 11 inches for just the oversized sweatshirt. And then I have a really big ruler here so that if I can kind of visualize how big this is gonna be. So between my fingers here is 11 inches, and I'm gonna want it probably at least 3.5 inches tall for these big blocky letters. So we are going to distort our font to be that size. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're gonna adjust our arrow over to about 11. And you can see the numbers are changing. And then I want it to be about 3.5 inches tall. Now, granted, you can use whatever font you want. I just wanted a big blocky font. If you want to use the same one as me, this is what we're going to use. I'm going to zoom in and readjust my canvas. Perfect. We're happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to cut our file. I'm also linking this ruler in the description below. So if you want to see this, I'll have it linked in the description below. Okay, so we are going to click Make. Perfect. It's on our design mat. Looks like we're using a 12 by 12. Very important step here is that we need to mirror our project because it needs to be mirrored because it's lettering and we're using infusible ink. Next, we're going to press continue. It is going to connect to our maker or whatever Cricut machine you happen to be using. In my case, I'm using a Cricut maker. And we're going to go ahead and get ready. We're going to prepare our mat. So let's go prepare our mat so that it can be ready for our cutting process. Okay, I just have a standard grip mat here. I am going to peel off the protective sheet. I have my infusible ink. I'm going to be using this buffalo check pattern. So what's nice is that they come with 2 rolls in each one and they're already pre-cut, which is fantastic. So now I'm going to just lay this out on our sheet. Right at the top, I'm lining it up right across and I'm giving it a good press. Okay, so that's all set up. I also need to make sure that my Cricut machine has the correct foot. Okay, so the last project I worked on, I was using a different foot. So we're gonna go back to our just standard foot. I'm taking this out and I'm putting the standard foot back in place. Perfect. Okay, we're back in Cricut Design Space and now we need to choose our infusible ink transfer sheet. Pressure, I'm just gonna use default pressure. Mirror is turned on and materials ink side up. We have that taken care of. We're using our fine point blade and clamp B. And now we have to go ahead and load our mat and press go. So heading back to the machine, let's go on over. We got this. Oh, this is the exciting part. I always get like a little nervous before cuts, but you know what? It's okay. We have a second sheet, so we'll be good to go. Let's go cut our project. Ink side is facing up. Our mat is ready to be loaded. Let's just press this down one more time. Make sure it's nice and sticky and on there because it is hot and humid. We press our load button. And then it's ready for us. We press go. Moment of truth, friends. We'll let the machine do its work. Meet you back out here to get it all ready for our sweatshirt. It's all done cutting. We're going to release it from our Cricut machine, and then we are going to weed out our design. So I'm going to move this so that we have working space, and then I will show you our weeded project. Okay, so I'm going to remove our sheet. Now we're going to remove the inverse. So there's already a transfer sheet on here. So we actually want, you can slightly bend or fold just to give yourself a little bit more room here. But we actually want to remove the reverse. So you can peel that corner up a little bit. There we go. And you want to leave the Christmas behind. So we're pulling up the background very carefully. You can use tweezers or whatever, you know, works well for you. You can also use the little weeding tools to help. Personally, I think it just kind of comes up okay. Just want to be careful not to rip it. There we go. Okay. CH. Okay. Now we're going to pull up the middle of the A. There it is. And the middle of the R, I'm just bending it a little. That's the easiest. Okay, perfect. Now let's get our sweatshirt out and get ready to transfer this design. Okay, we are going to turn on our Cricut Easy Press and preheat to 360 degrees. So we'll let that warm up while we're getting our sweatshirt ready. So this is just a basic Gildan sweatshirt. It's not like a Cricut approved pre-transfer material. There's a chance that the ink won't stay on this, but I think we're gonna be okay. If you wanted to pre-wash your sweatshirt, that would give you an added chance of getting extra sizing out that might prevent the ink from transferring. But we're gonna kind of roll with it today, folks, and just see if this will work, because I have a feeling it's going to be okay. So we are going to place our sweatshirt on our Easy Press mat. This is going to protect our surface. The next thing we're going to want to do is put some cardstock. under the sweatshirt in order to protect it. So I am just going to lift from the bottom of my sweatshirt here. The only cardstock I have currently is pink. Shocker, I need to get white back in stock. But this is going to also prevent the ink from flowing through to the back side of the sweatshirt. So we're going to kind of center that as best we can. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to lint roll our sweatshirt. I have a lint roller here. So by lint rolling our sweatshirt, it's just going to help get up any extra little lint that could cause, you know, flaws in our transfer. It's not a perfect lint roller, but it's, you know, it's getting the job done. You could also use like a piece of tape or something just to get any extra debris out of the way. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is cover our t-shirt, or here in this case, our sweatshirt, with either butcher paper or parchment paper. And parchment paper will work just fine. We're gonna give this a little bit of a preheat in order to kind of get any of these wrinkles out so that our transfer is nice and smooth. So you're gonna put your parchment paper down and we're gonna finish waiting for our heat press to warm up. It's actually getting close. We'll probably be fine. So let's go ahead. We're just gonna press and hold. We're just gonna preheat this. I'm gonna do both sides here just for a few seconds. Okay, and that should do it. Now we have a nice clean working space. The next thing we're going to do is place our design. So I'm using our sheet here, that our little template that's gonna give us a good guide for where our place should go. Liner side up, we are going to place our mat. So we want this mostly centered. There we go. Okay, gonna press that down. Lift this a bit. Okay, once again, this is in order to protect your mat and everything. Okay, we are going to put our parchment paper down. I'm just going to get this centered on my table a little bit better. And we are going to press and hold, let's see, for 120 seconds. Go ahead and do it. We're going to press and hold, and we're not going to move. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the other side as well. Okay, now we're going to move this over. Try not to move the sweatshirt. We want everything to stay in place. We don't want a lot of movement, but we need to do the second half. So I am resetting this again, and we're doing another 120 seconds. Try to move your transfer as little as possible, just straight up and down as best you can. And of course, this is a homemade project, so if it's not perfect, it's okay. We're going to try to love it either way. Okay, we're going to wait another 100 seconds, and then we will do the reveal. Okay, last couple seconds. Slowly lift up. I'm turning it off because it is so hot up here in this attic. We're going to place it back on its little station here. We are going to very carefully remove our parchment paper. And now we need to, moment of truth, remove our liner. And there is our Christmas. It looks beautiful. Now it's time for the embroidery portion of our project. We're going to let this cool for a few minutes just to let it set. But we are going to start stitching my and jammies around this so that it's a super cute Christmassy sweatshirt for us to use. For the next phase in our project, we need to use water-soluble paper to print out our stick and stitch lettering. I am using Sulky's Sticky Fabri-Solvi, the printable kind. You can find this right at Joann's or online. I will link it in the description below. This is my favorite kind because you can use it with your printer. It will print right directly onto the paper, which I think is awesome. You could also write on this if you don't have a printer. If you don't want to print it out, that's totally okay too. So you can choose different font if you want to, write whatever message you want, and then use the water-soluble stabilizer to embroider over the top of it. In this case, I have a template for you that says my jammies or my pajamas in script lettering. You can use this to print directly onto water-soluble paper. Follow the instructions on the paper that you have in order to print it out, or you can write directly on this using just tracing the template that I've given you in the description below. We're gonna cut out our letters. I'm probably gonna go with my jammies because I think that's super cute. And we're gonna leave maybe 1/2 inch around the edge, and then we're gonna place it onto our sweatshirt. So let's go ahead and get ready to embroider. Water-soluble stickers are super easy to work with. Basically, all we're going to do is we need to take off the backing layer. So this is basically just the back of the sticker. You can use a needle to score it and then just peel it right off. And then you're going to place the sticker wherever you want it. What's nice about these stickers is they wash away in water. So when we're all done stitching through it, they are just going to wash away. I'm going to align jammies kind of with the side edge of my S just under. And then I'm going to put my up here, and we're going to align it with the C. I'll put the side of the M with the C. There we go. Perfect. And we need to be careful because we're doing a sweatshirt not to stitch through both layers. So you might have to kind of stick your hand under there as we're stitching. But we need to figure out what we're going to stitch with. We can use traditional DMC floss. We can also use pearl cotton. This is a Valdani pearl cotton. I like that it's variegated in green. This buffalo check plaid has that kind of rustic look. And I might wind up adding some like Christmas trees later on, you know, food for thought. So I don't mind working with the green. I'm actually just gonna go with our Valdani pearl cotton. And you can use whichever stitch you want. I think I'm gonna go with a chain stitch. I think a chain stitch will look really, really pretty with this project. So what I'm gonna do is pull out a length of thread. We'll cut it just to get started, and I'm gonna thread my needle, and we'll go ahead and start our chain stitch. I've threaded my needle and I've knotted it on the other end because I don't want it to pull through my sweatshirt. I'm gonna roll it up a little bit so that it's not in my way as I'm stitching. Because again, we don't want to stitch through both layers. So I'm just going to roll it a bit. That way it's a little bit easier to work with. So I've come up at the edge of my M, the swoosh on my M, and I'm going to come down right next to where I came up, almost in the same spot, but just over a thread, if you will. Pull my needle back down, but I'm going to leave a loop. I'm going to come up 1 stitch length away, about 1/4 inch or so. Catch my loop through my needle, and I'm going to pull until that loop is resting right on my strand. I'm going to come right back down next to that stitch. I'll pull the loop just a little bit tighter. There we go. And again, we're going to make another loop. Bring your needle up 1 stitch length away. There we go. You're going to catch your loop on your needle and pull the needle up. And there we go. Gently bring your needle back down so that the loop is resting right on your strand. And you're going to continue this all through your lettering. When you get to a junction where there is overlap, you can opt to just anchor off your chain stitch on one side and start back up on the other, or you can go right over the top. In this case, I'm going to go right over the top of the M so that it looks like the stitching just kind of continues. So to do that, again, I'm just going to come back down within that same loop. Go. Leave a little loop. Come back on the other side of where everything crisscrosses. So come back up on the other side of where everything crisscrosses. And you can just go ahead, and now you've got your loop crossing over, and you can just continue on with your stitching. In order to stop chain stitching, if you reach the end of a letter and you need to move to a new location, or if you run out of thread, all you're going to do is just tack down your stitch by, instead of coming down in the middle of the loop, come down just outside of it, and that will hold your chain in place so it doesn't go anywhere. Tie off on the back of your project and then pick up wherever you'd like to continue stitching. our sweatshirt finished drying, and it came out so good. We washed away all of the stick and stitch sticker, and this is how it came out. Oh, I'm so happy with the results. If it wasn't a 90+ degree July day right now, I would totally be putting this on, but don't you worry. I am for sure going to be wearing this December when the holidays arrive. I am so excited. Now, with this type of a project, you can also add more stick and stitch designs here. I think I might add some trees or maybe even some snowflakes around the edges. So feel free. You can doll this project up any way you like. And if you don't know which stick and stitch types of designs you want to do, I'll link my winter stick and stitch kit that you can buy from my online shop in the description below so that you can have extra stickers. So you can purchase extra stickers if you want to add to your project to really jazz it up and get festive for the holiday season. Let me know how your project turned out in the comments below. And be sure to stay tuned for tomorrow. Stacy from Stacy Creates Stuff is going to be showing us some unique gifting ideas. You're not going to want to miss it. So stay tuned for Stacy's video tomorrow, friends. Thanks again so much for hanging out. Until next time, happy stitching.